Hello YouTube. If you saw my other videos, you know that my modeling videos are usually slideshows. I'm going to change that and add to the slideshows a video showing the model built in more detail. So I'm starting to do this with the venerable monogram 1/12 scale 1957 Chevy. This is one of my all-time favorite kits. Not to mention, I just love the car, even being a Ford guy. You are not going to hold this against me, are you? So, this kit is one of the many I have completely unbuilt and mint in box. Let me open this. This is the 1986 version of this kit. There are newer versions from Revell and even from Monogram, and you can identify that by having the generic tires. This kit, the 80s version, still has the Goodyear and Eagle marking on the street road tires, as you can see. The newer versions are just smooth, like the back of the tire. I built many of these kits, a lot to say the truth, and many of them I ended giving to friends or even selling, what I regret now. So I'm going to show you guys the two I currently have, and these are I'm not going to sell because I'm really tired of rebuilding those cars. This one is the Monogram 1957 Chevy in 1/12 scale monogram kit. I built for the last one I built. It's a completely factory stock 1957 Chevy. Doesn't want to focus? Yeah. It was built to replicate a fully stock 1957 Chevy Bel Air. And the condition I call dream car. That is not a restored car, but a mint, unrestored, super low mileage original. The fused, it even has the fused dice that are included with the kit. By my lack of practice with the camera doing this, you know I'm not accustomed to do this kind of video, so please give me a break here. This specific model was painted with spray paint from Tamiya TS14 spray can paint. I really love Tamiya paint because the result is always smooth and trouble-free. This model is almost completely factory stock and box stock. I added very few details like the Brazilian license plates the exhaust tips that are stainless steel and were originally the caps of a mechanical pencil. This car was built, like I said, to replicate a factory stock, an unrestored original. So the underside was painted with the classic Chevy primer, has a slight overspray on the edges of the floorboards, and has some markings I was capable to find online to this car, like those factory markings. Focus camera. Yep, now we got it. And there is no extra detail on the underside of the car other than just paint and the stainless steel exhaust tips. Now on the engine compartment there is just a little bit more detail. I added the kit supplied wiring there, and also added some fuel lines and vacuum lines of the Rochester fuel injection system, but not many, and I didn't bother to add brake lines or real battery cables. I'm not much into super detailing, even in big 1/12 scale. The interior was completely painted with Tamiya paints, also in spray form. The red is Italian red from the spray can, and the black is Tamiya flat black. There is bare metal foil on the piping, and I don't know if this is going to show, but there is Rio carpeting on the floor that I made with black velour that just looks like 1/12 scale carpeting. Like I said before, this kit is the last one I built, and I built from a virgin brand new kit. My camera is slow at focusing today. Other than this one, I have a restored kit. That is this one here. This car I got from a friend of mine. It was painted red, had this fender painted white, and had a blown engine with the huge blower. I'm not really a fan of blowers and non-factory stock cars, so I started immediately to restore this car with my many leftover parts. I replaced the HUD and replaced all the stock parts on the engine, repainted the interior that was black and had bucket seats, and didn't have the stock steering wheel. This time I used the silver and black option GM had. This car I built to replicate a used but otherwise original car. So there is dirt and some surface rust underneath, but the upper part of the car is supposed to look brand new or well taken care of. I again included Brazilian license plates and a dealer badge. The dealer badge I'm not very satisfied with. I have to come with a better method to make this, maybe with a decal. The bumper guards were hand molded from epoxy putty, and I did them on the front bumper too, and they are a copy of an accessory that was very common on those cars. Like the original chrome was really bad, I redid it with bare metal foil and with Alclad. This part here, this eyebrow, is bare metal foil. Here too. That are the parts that are more handled when you clean the car, and the Alclad is really fragile, and the rest here, around here, the headlights, the hubcaps, the rear bumper are all Alclad. The side spears were foiled after re-glued to the car instead of repainted with Alclad, because when you're going to dust the model, they are susceptible to wear and tear, and the Alclad will end coming off. These models don't have separate display cases because they are really huge and I don't have much space, so I keep them inside my closet, my cabinet for models, and even though it's closed, some dust eventually gets in. On this restored car, I didn't have the front window that was shattered and irreparable, so I made a new one with acetate. It's a little flexible, see? But better than having none. The rear one is stock from the kit. Now the engine, like I told you, has some wear and tear to it. Surface rust, normal on a car this old, and a lot of dirt, but has signs of recent maintenance, like a new radiator cap, a new battery, new fuel filter, new windshield wiper engine, and signs of maintenance on the fuel injection. This was done to replicate a factory stock and unrestored car that was actually used. So the underside is not clean and pristine like the other. There is surface rust and dirt all over it, and many different shades. There is an oil leak here. Well, it's not the Ford, right? Some oil leak on the transmission. And the classic oil leak on the seal on the rear end. Nothing serious though. The car can be used. Here you can see the different tons of rust used on the exhaust. And here, when the temperature of the exhaust gets higher, the rust gets less intense, let's say, and the general appearance is almost the same as the frame rails. This is not to be rusted steel, just surface rust with a lot of dirt. I replicated here a little hole on the spare tire well, and also a little dirt on the inside of the tires, and the pattern it will have for a normal used car. In the late 50s or early 60s, many roads weren't paved, and this kind of dirty underside was very common here in Brazil. This model was painted with synthetic enamel paint brand Angel. That's a Sherwin-Williams paint for real cars, and was airbrushed with a Badger 350 airbrush single action, because I'm not a huge fan of double action airbrushes. Yeah, I know, I should be, but I'm not. I really don't like them. Here you can see a little flaw on the foiling. And other than a little defect here and there, I think I was able to really save this kit. I'll try to add to the video a picture of how it looked before the restoration. I'll try to make some more of those video reviews if the result is positive and you guys like it. But I really don't want to stop doing my slideshows, because I like to use my parking lot base to take pictures. I think the models look very real. Well, I ask excuses for my bad English, as I'm not a native speaker. I just have a high school English and some background on traveling to the US twice, but that's it. And I hope you guys liked the video, and if you like it, consider subscribing. Thank you and have a nice day.